Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Brian, you're welcome to start whenever you're ready.
Okay. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Sacramento County Subdivision Review Committee. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Sure. Members Mejia, Mejia,
Here. You hear me?
Would everybody please put their phone on mute? Thank you.
Do you hear me, Stephanie? Stephanie, do you hear me?
sorry about that. Mejia,
Here? I'm here, present.
Floyd,
Here.
Hambrick,
Here.
Hicks,
Here.
Santiago, Holloway.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. So I'm going to read a couple announcements, so this will just take a little bit. In compliance with directives of state, county, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and pursuant to the guidelines of social distancing, this meeting is closed to the public. To view or listen to the meeting, members of the public may watch or listen to the meeting by way of three options. Please visit sccob.saccounty.net for login information. To make a public comment, please submit your public comments by sending an email to board clerk, that's one word, capital B, capital C, board clerk at saccounty.net. Your comments will be accepted until the adjournment of the meeting, emailed to the Subdivision Review Committee, and will be included in the public record. If you can, please speak with a handset or a headset. Mute your devices when not speaking to minimize background noise, as we just heard. Announce your name each time that you speak on an item so that all participants will know who we're listening to. Please send your comment to the chair. If you're online using BlueJean, please send comments to the chair and the secretary through the chat function if you're on a laptop, a PC, or mobile device, so we know who's waiting in queue to speak. And that chat function is at the upper right corner of the screen on BlueJean. When I call for a motion and a second, please announce your name prior to making the motion or the second. And it's typical for Tony Santiago to make the second on motions. The clerk will take a voice vote and confirm the results of the vote. Also, the other statement I need to read is the one you're familiar with. We are primarily a technical committee made up of representatives of various county departments, service providers, and safety officers. Subdivision Review Committee acts as a county hearing authority to make final decisions on tentative parcel maps, certain boundary line adjustments, and certificates of compliance. As a hearing authority for these items, the Secretary will take into consideration all county codes, the general plan, and other relevant county policies. For parcel maps that must go before the Planning Commission or the Board of Supervisors, we act only in an advisory role on the technical aspects of the map, and we will not consider the policy implications, the other entitlements, or the merits of the project, just the technical compliance of the application. The decision of the Subdivision Review Committee on these matters is final unless an appeal is filed within 10 days of the decision to the clerk of the board. Let's see, how do we want to handle swearing in of speakers? Do you want to do that now?
Yes, I can do that now.
Okay, if you plan to speak today, the secretary will swear you in.
Okay. Do you swear that the testimony you are about to give this committee is the truth, so help you God? If you do not swear, do you so affirm?
Okay. And I think we are now ready for the first item. Would the secretary please call the first item? This is Brian Holloway. Can anybody hear me?
Hey, Brian.
Okay, we can't hear the secretary. We can't hear anybody if somebody is speaking right now.
Brian, would you like me to read the item again?
Yes, please.
Okay. Item 1, committee to consider approval of the March 5th, 2020 action summary.
Okay, is staff presentation?
No, we'll need a motion and a second for the first item.
So I'll move the first item.
Do we have a second?
Jim Hicks seconds.
Okay, and then I'll do a roll call vote. Holloway,
Yes.
Mejia, Santiago, Floyd, Floyd,
Present.
did you want to vote yes or no on the action summary, approval of the action summary?
I approve.
Hambrick,
Yes.
Santiago, Mejia, Holloway,
Yes.
Mejia.
Yes.
Thank you. And Santiago. Okay, motion passes with members present.
Okay, please call item number 2, Metro Air Park.
Item 2 is PLNP 2019-00343, Metro Air Park Project First Base Parcel Map. Request is for a tentative parcel map and design review. The applicant is Carlson, Barbie, and Gibson Incorporated.
So do we have a staff presentation on this item?
Meredith Holsworth here. Can anyone hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
We can hear you now, Meredith.
Meredith Holsworth here. Can you go to the first slide of the presentation?
It's up. You might just have to give it a second.
Okay, thank you. I'll go ahead and get started then with the delay. This is Meredith Holsworth of Planning and Environmental Review. I'm the project manager for the Project First Base Parcel Map. If you can go to the next slide, please. The request is for a tentative parcel map to divide a 133-acre parcel into 5 new parcels in the Metro Air Park Special Planning Area and a design review to comply with both the countywide and the Metro Air Park design guidelines. Next slide. Oh, you're already there. Here is the zoning of the project site and its surroundings. The gray area is the SPA boundaries, and the green to the west is the Sacramento International Airport. Next slide. Can you go to the following slide, number 4? Slide 4 is an aerial of the project site. It's shown as undeveloped here, but construction has begun on a warehouse on the northern end of the site. You can also see the Amazon Fulfillment Center is just below, across Sky King to the south. Next slide. When it comes up, the next slide is the parcel map that is showing the proposed new parcel lines. It also shows the building envelope for the warehouse that is proposed on lot 1 that I mentioned is currently under construction. There it is. You can go ahead to the next slide. This is the acreage breakdown for the 5 proposed lots ranging from 12.1 acres to 66.5 on lot 1. As I mentioned, the warehouse on lot 1 is under construction and all development standards are being met on this parcel map, so no deviations have been requested. Next slide. The Natomas CPAC reviewed the project in January and unanimously recommended approval. The Design Review Advisory Committee met later in January of this year and found the site design to be in compliance with county and Metro Air Park design guidelines, and staff is recommending approval with conditions in attachment 2. DOT has requested a change to the timing trigger on condition number 21. Rather than the timing trigger of prior to recordation of map, they've requested a change to read prior to issuance of a final certificate of occupancy. The applicant's county counsel and the clerk have all been made aware of this change, and it will be reflected in the final transmittal. Next slide, please. Staff recommends the following actions before your hearing body today: to recognize the addendum to the Metro Air Park SPA and determine the final environmental impact report is still adequate from the previous 1989 project. Approve the tentative parcel map subject to findings and conditions of approval, and find the project to be in substantial compliance with the countywide and Metro Air Park landscape and design guidelines, subject to the findings and conditions in attachment 2. That does conclude the staff presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions, and we do have the applicant team on the phone as well.
Thank you, Meredith. Do we have questions for Meredith? None appearing. So we have an applicant on the phone. Does the applicant would like to make a statement? Is the applicant still on the phone? Do you have any questions, and do you find the conditions of approval agreeable?
Representing the good morning, this is Andrea Balanca with Carlson, Barbie and Gibson. I think everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
representing the applicant. From our end, Meredith's presentation was complete. We have no questions on the conditions of approval, and they're all agreeable. And I'm happy to answer any questions for you.
Great. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Questions for the applicant? None appearing. Anyone in the audience or on the phone anybody from the public have any comments or questions? None appearing. What's the pleasure of the committee? Can we have a motion? Manuel or Joel, typically that's you.
Can you? Okay, now you can hear me, correct?
Yes, thank
Hello?
you, Manuel.
Okay, thank you. Okay, this is to recognize the addendum to the Metro Air Park SPA, determine the final environmental impact report. Control number 89781 is still adequate and appropriate for the proposed project. To approve the tentative parcel map, subject to findings and conditions of approval with the amendment of condition number 21 to change the trigger to prior to certificate of occupancy. And then to find that the project is in substantial compliance with the countywide design guidelines and Metro Air Park landscaping design guidelines, subject to the findings and conditions listed in attachment 2 of this report. That is my motion.
Thank you, Manuel. Do we have a second? Tony Santiago, that's typically you. I will second the motion. This is Brian. I will second the motion. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Hambrick,
Yes. Aye. Are we
Hicks?
officially voting? I'm sorry.
Hicks, sorry, Hicks,
I vote aye.
thank you. Floyd, Floyd, Floyd,
Aye.
Santiago, Santiago, Holloway,
Yes. And just to remind everybody that the motion did include Department of Transportation's modifications of the conditions.
and Mejia.
Yes.
Okay,
Did we have enough positive votes to approve that?
yeah, motion passes with members present.
Thank you very much. Okay, are there any other action items before the SRC today?
We do have 3 more items.
Okay. Please call the third item.
Item 3 is a staff update.
This is Chris Bahuli. I'll handle that. We do not have a staff update at this time.
Thank you, Chris. Please call item 4, committee member comments.
Item 4 is committee member comments.
This is Chair Holloway. I think the meeting has gone pretty well for the first time. For first SRC meeting, I think it went pretty well. If you have for the committee members and staff, if you have any suggestions on our next, how to operate the next meeting, please send those to Secretary Stephanie, and we would appreciate those. But other than some minor technical things, I think it went pretty well. Any other comments from committee members and staff? None appearing. Item number 5, please. Public comment.
Item number 5 is public comment, and we have not received any.
Okay. Anyone on the phone from the public have any comments? None appearing. Then, with the pleasure of the committee, I would adjourn the meeting. Would the secretary please confirm the meeting is adjourned?
You're adjourned.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good job.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, everyone.